traditional Catholics to just hold the standard. And that's why I don't suggest the South Carolina string band just as an alternative, but I really, really want to see older traditional Catholic young people stick to it. And I know that part of sticking to it is not just the spiritual, it's not just the Mass, there's also the family, there's also fun, there's also things that make up, that make us what we are. And part of that is to enjoy life. God gave us the gift of life. We should enjoy it. And so if we don't provide alternatives, music for you older people, young people, that you can enjoy and have fun with and learn to sing and do the harmonies and maybe play the instruments with, and really show young people that you're not missing out on anything. You don't need to have everything plugged in and cranked as loud as it can and dunka, dunka, dunka constantly. You don't need it. You don't need it, and you can have so much more fun. You must sit around and sing sometimes. Folk songs, maybe you play a guitar or something, you sing and you have fun. Old tunes, right? I hope that happens sometimes. If it doesn't, well, after this we'll sit down and have a little class, we'll do some singing. No, seriously, you have to do that. That's a big part of it. You know, and then the young people will see that it's possible, and then we can make a difference. That's the thing. We really can make a difference. It's a cliche, I know, but we really can go out and change the world, because what the world is offering ain't working. Obviously, it's not working. We got chaos out there. Yes, ma'am.
I know, like you said, you're tired and exhausted, and you can't think right now. But for me, music's never been a real love for it, but it's just the noise, because I have a large family, so I'd rather not have it.
Right.
So with my kids, they do have a love. My husband has a love for music. So if you do in the next week or two, think of some things that. Because I'm not good at going out and searching it out, like you said, to bring it to my kids in a good form. If there's anything you can think about, and let Father know, or email them, or fax them, and say, here's some other things that people could.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where my fall is I just, like I said, it's not important to me because I don't have a love for music, but my husband and my kids do. So. Yeah,
no, that's a great thing to bring up too, because I've noticed a sort of a Jansenistic reaction to this. Well, we're not going to have any music in the house. That's fatal. That's absolutely fatal. And I mean, I don't know if you got a pencil or something, but like with young people, believe it or not, there's a violinist, one of my favorite violinists. When I was just a kid, my mom took me to see him. His name is Ishak Perlman. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. I started playing violin when I saw him. I mean, I was never so moved in my life by anything. When I was in a little rock band, and when I was watching Steve Perry and Journey do their asinine thing there back in '84, I was never ever moved as I was as maybe a 12-year-old watching Ishak Perlman play his violin. And thankfully, most all of his stuff is out there, so you can get, especially for little kids, believe it or not, Perlman playing Vivaldi. Because Vivaldi concentrates so much on sort of fast-paced violin music, and some oboe for odd combination. But anyway, and that sounds funny now, but it's not. I mean, little kids, my little 5-year-old, if I put on Vivaldi for her, she's just crazy, running around the house having a blast. She's not missing Christina Aguilera. Thank God. Yes.
Well, one thing you haven't talked about is, it's not new, but it's kind of new, is the Il Divo and Josh Groban. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
Well, tenors, singers, but now they're going in. When they first started, I heard them, and they were doing good music, but now they're going in, they're picking up all the pop, they're redoing all the pop songs. Right.
No, that's what Christian rock has been doing for so long. I mean, and parents aren't aware of that. Just like from a marketing point of view, a lot of mainstream top 40 rock bands would always have that parent song on their CDs or on their records or tapes. The one that was soft and was palatable for moms and dads. Christian rock's doing the same thing, only inverting that. They'll always do, most of them, Jars of Clay or whoever, Christian rock band that you might run into, oftentimes you'll find like an Ozzy Osbourne song cover that they'll do. It's just the strangest thing. It's like this little bow to the God of rock and roll, that no matter how Christian you are, you're always going to put this one, hard rock, acid rock, heavy metal song on the thing and do it in this, loving, lordly way. Christian rock, as far as I'm sorry, I hope nobody throws rocks at me, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd, because the music has been used to rebel against Christ. You can't use pornography in a Christian way. And I say in my book, there people are trying to do that. I'm not going to get into that here, but in any case, you know what I mean. You can't. So Christian rock, although a lot of the people that are involved with it have the best intentions, and I appreciate that and understand that, it's not going to work. As long as it's hooked up to rock, it's not going to work. And it doesn't need to be. That's the thing. Young people, as I say, for thousands of years.
Voices, and they started going to the top.
Right, right. That seems to be the pattern. So, all right. Anybody else? No. Okay. Good. What's that? I hate that question. No, I do because it's always. I've never wanted. You know, like I say, I used to listen to rock music, and it took a long time. It took a long time to get over it.
Frequently asked question to a parent.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. To say it's bad to listen to this band or whatever. What I think is much more interesting is trying to get young people to, on their own, just not want to look for the one or two good songs or whatever, just to throw it all out. Just to throw it all out. Because that's the only thing, seriously, I can see the look on your face. It looks just like me 20 years ago. Mom, come on! Okay, my fault. Touche, I shouldn't have said the word Vivaldi. I agree, I agree. I agree, but there's just this wealth of other music, pop music, some of it we already covered, folk music, Irish, Scottish music. You know what? You know what? You got to, listen, this is, now you're really going to think I'm a fascist, but you've got to learn to, okay? You have to learn to like it. And listen, that's going to, I mean, I'm telling you, to this day when I hear a Journey song, something happens inside, and I resent it so much that they got inside of me like that with this stuff, right? It takes a long time, but I promise you, once you get over it, you have to acquire a taste for it. You have to go back. It's like good art. Rock music is bad, is construction, bad music, right? But you can appreciate and you can learn to appreciate good music. It's the same like as if you have a steady diet of Picasso. It's going to take a while before you can do a Renoir or whoever, you pick your favorite, Michelangelo. But you will get there. It's the same with music. You have to learn to do it. That's the only way. And again, it has to come. It's just not arbitrary. Well, if I listen to that song, I'm going to go to hell. If I listen to that song, I'm going to become a saint. It's not that. You have to put it in the context of what you want to do with your life. That's why I say just to leave it purely on a discussion of music. You have to combine it when you're talking to a Catholic audience with what do you want to do with yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out and make a difference, or are you just going to be a Punkenstein, going through like trying to listen to whatever you can to get by and really not being different? It has to come with a commitment to be different. But the upside is, once you immerse yourself in good music, you'll never want to go back. You just have to trust me on that. I know you don't believe me at this point, but it's true. No, I absolutely agree. And that's one of the big, again, the shortcomings of what people like me have tried to do out there talking about this music. They do two things. They pretend like they act as though music is not important, and they forget to grab these young people by the hand and recognize where they are. See, that's the thing. Music is very important. Wanting to belong to your generation is an incredibly powerful thing. And I think a lot of times that's overlooked. I want to, with my kids, I want to grab them, take them by the hands and love them and lead them through a really dark place. And that's the ages between, well, you're more experienced parents than I am, but I would say between the ages of about 14 and 19. They need to be loved and they need to be led. And they don't need to be barked at or told that music is garbage or it sounds like factory music. It sounds like a factory noise. What's the problem with it? You have to understand this music is marketed specifically to this 11-year-old. Everything that she thinks about and dreams about, these marketeers understand what she's seeing and they're playing to that. So I absolutely agree with you. We have to understand what they're up against. We have to provide alternatives. And we have to recognize the importance of things like music and having fun in the lives of young people, young Catholics. And if we don't, we're going to lose them. Because these guys want to have fun. They don't want to sit around and listen to me all day. They want to have fun. They want to have music. And they want to grow spiritually. But the growing spiritually, that part of it, you guys, is going to come more and more as you get older. That's just what happens. As you kind of get out of high school and you start running into the world more. And then all of a sudden you're going to start thinking about what your mother said, and what your father said, and what your priest said. And then all of a sudden you're going to find yourself responding, and things will come out of your mouth that you never thought would come out because of the words of your mother, or the words of your priest, or whatever. You're like, whoa, who said that? But it will happen. It will happen. And then you're going to really appreciate when you start having kids, and you look at these little children, and you realize how much, especially for girls, how much work, what labor is like, what pregnancy is like, what homeschooling is like. And you're going to let these barbarians pump their garbage music into these little skulls full of mush, these little kids, that you have a responsibility to take their soul and to give it back to God someday. And I hope that's what we've done today. I'm going to let you guys go. I know it's getting late, so thanks a lot for listening.